because we like to get in and work on your site. We can't if you change the passwords. Your domain names, when do they expire? Great thing I learned within the past year is if you have your domain name registered for a longer period of time, the search engines like that because you look like a viable business. And just because you register your domain name for a longer period of time doesn't mean that you have to pay your hosting the same amount of time. You know, because your hosting is the more expensive part of it. You can do that yearly or monthly or whatever way you're used to doing that. But try to get your domain name like 5 years out. And that kind of helps you too because, you know, yearly you might tend to forget. You don't want to lose your name. Do you need a new or an additional domain name? I found that, especially when I got braces, that .com.ws, because .com.com is owned by somebody else. So .com.ws, which is for website, is really difficult to say over a cell phone when you have braces. Nobody knows what you're saying. Hey, WF, you know, and then people can't find your site if they can't understand you over the phone. And it's very difficult with cell phones now too, and it cuts out. So if it's something that you're not accustomed to hearing, you can't hear it. And so I decided to buy stressfreedesign.com because that's what I'm all about. So I bought my slogan in essence. So if you have a new slogan, we just did that with the Liquor Loft. We finally found out that it's all about the wine.com became available. So I don't know if you probably don't see any Liquor Loft commercials in this area, but that's Dick's slogan, it's all about the wine. So we own that now. So sometime this week I'll go in and set that up so it forwards to his main site. You can have as many domain names as you want. And they can forward to any page in your site that you want them to forward to. So if you got a new slogan or a new product, or, you know, green is like the huge thing now. You know, if there's some derivation of the word green that has to do with your product, buy it.
How much domain name just so they much year?
Well, it depends on who you go to. I mean, my site is like $10 and $10 for, you know, so it's around 20 if you get it with privacy. I like to get it with privacy because it blocks your address, especially if you're a home business. The privacy will block the address that's attached to your credit card. It'll block the phone number that's attached to your credit card so that people can't see that if they do a lookup on your domain name. All they will see is that it was purchased by somebody at .com domains. They're the ones that manage it, and you don't see your phone number or address on there. But like 20 bucks. But I know that there are other companies that charge 35, and that's without privacy. So it's one of those things you really have to look, and just be wary too of you know, there's a lot of people that say they give you free websites, and then you start registering and you get in and it's like, oh, but if you want to use your own domain name, then it's like $35 a year or $15 a month, or you really need to look and remember, not everything's free. You know, free doesn't necessarily mean free. Not all free is good. But just, you know, make sure, be aware of that. 404 pages, I don't know if anyone knows what that terminology is. A 404 page is an error page. So you click that link and it goes, and you get like the white page with the Microsoft text or whatever that says, you know, you've reached the wrong place. You can customize those. Because when you see those, don't you get scared? And going, oh, what do I do? You know, did I break something, or is their site broken, or what's going on? Sometimes you just have to click back and then click forward again, and it'll work, because the internet just does that to you. But you can customize those pages. So it can come up and say, oops, apparently there might be a little glitch with our site. You can click here to go back to the page you were on, or you can have all the links still there so they can click back to another page. You know, that kind of thing, so that nobody freaks out when they get the error message. It's very soothing. They are still on the same site. They don't feel like they got lost. Let's see, meta tags and keywords. That's a good time to look through and see, you know, especially if you're selling a new product or if you change some aspect of it, you want to make sure that your keywords are still accurate. Like maybe you're not selling to a particular area anymore. You know, you don't have a store in a particular area anymore. You might want to get that area's or that city's name out of your keywords. A lot of people, especially if you build your own website, I have a product where you can do that. You can go in and create your own website, or even if you have somebody else create your website, they'll have the same, like way up at the top, there's a title on the page. That can be changed for every single page. So it just doesn't say, welcome to WomenTIES at the top of every single page. You know, say, welcome to WomenTIES, and then maybe the membership page says, WomenTIES has great opportunities for people to join our organization or something like that. So it's like, you should have the title of every page, which is the part that's way up in the top of the browser, which is the hidden code in your site, be pertinent to each individual page. And what I try to do personally is mention like the city. So like on Teresa Huggins' site, I would say for the Leaders for Life program, she does it in Clinton, I would mention Clinton. In another page, I might say the Mohawk Valley. On another page, I might say upstate New York. So that when you go to do a search, she's got all those different areas in the headers of her pages. And that will really help with the search engines. In the same way with the keywords on your page. You really shouldn't have more than 10 to 15 keywords in the meta tags area. Because if you overstuff that, the search engines don't like it. They figure overstuff over 15 is like, okay, you're just putting a bunch of words in here that don't really mean anything. And I tailor those. So on the one particular page, I would say, you know, Leaders for Life camps, da-ding, 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 da-ding. And then on another page, I would say the women's programs are such and thus. So tailor those words to each individual page. Just don't pick 10 meta tags about what you do and stick them on every single page. Because then you're wasting an opportunity. You're wasting a lot of words where you could get good search engine.
So in other words, the meta tags that are going to come up are the words that you place on all the different pages of your website?
The meta tags are in the hidden code. It's in the HTML code, and I can show you that when I fire this up. I could show, if you haven't, has anyone ever seen what, okay.
So if I click on my site where it says HTML, I can see it. Whatever keywords come out, that's what's going to pull up on the internet when I do a search. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
It does a combination of that and the title tags and the visible text that's on the page.
Okay, great.
So it kind of combines, and the alt tags, which is another thing. The alt tags, say if you have a picture, what they suggest is you put an alt tag. It's an alternate tag. So in terms of if the picture doesn't come up for some reason, you see a website and there's like an X there. Okay, for some reason the picture isn't linking. But if you have an alt tag there, it will say like, you know, camp leadership program. And then you'll know what was supposed to be there. There was supposed to be a picture of campers there or something. But the search engines can still search that. They like that. They like to see alt tags on the pictures. Identify the information that your customers are usually looking for. And try to get that up towards the top. Like if there's a particular form or sign-up sheet or a particular area, and you can do that with your, like your Google Analytics and different search engine reporting programs, that you can take a look and see what pages people usually go to, what information they're usually drawn to. I mean, did they hit your home page and immediately go to the events page every single time? Well, then you want to make sure that your events page link is like really visible. It's not, you know, disappeared somewhere. Or if you have a special form, or say you're doing an event with a brochure and people seem to be going to your home page and then to your events page and then to the brochure, well, maybe you want to link to that brochure on your home page so that people see it immediately and go there. Just because it's easier for them, they're more likely to come back. In your contact form, just make sure that you check it every once in a while. Every once in a while, I have a customer who decides to change their email address, and then that means their contact form probably doesn't work. I had a client recently who, I guess she's given up her email address. Maybe she's changed it, but I had it set on her form. So now when she gets any messages through her website, it comes to me that it failed. I'm like, okay, so if you change things, you need to let your web mistress know that you've changed something.